So, good morning, welcome. Nice to have you all with us here. So, this session will begin with some breathing meditation, and then I'll set a motivation, and then we'll meditate on the 3 points of the 9-point death meditation that Vinavakadro taught on this morning. So, it's important that we don't just jump into meditation without moving to a neutral state of mind. If we do, then the meditation really won't have much clarity or force. And so we'll bring our attention inward and close down our senses a little bit. So you can first check your posture. Do a body scan to release any tension, letting your spine be the support that then allows the muscles of the body to relax with each out breath. Of course, thoughts are bound to arise out of habit. Rather than becoming caught up in them or trying to stop them forcefully, simply release them with each out breath. So whatever comes up, resistance or concern, grief or joy, boredom or story, notice it, accept it, and then return to the breath. So let the body breathe itself without any influence of desires, expectations, or preference. So we'll do that for a few minutes, and I'll set a motivation. And so with the COVID-19 virus in our world today, death seems closer than usual. But as we've heard this morning, really death is always with us. And we really have an opportunity as Buddhist practitioners to meet this circumstance with some clarity by using the opportunity to get more familiar with the fact that we will die one day. And practicing accepting that we will die will influence how we die and what rebirth we take. So this is another example of taking adversity onto the path, using it to transform our minds. And as we do that, then we are a step closer to our final goal of complete Buddhahood, at which point we could benefit all living beings in the most excellent way. So the first point in the 9-point death meditation is the inevitability of death. And the first point is that everyone has to die. And at this time, all beings in one way or another are dying. And with this point, it's helpful to start with people that we know but we don't have a personal connection with. Because most of us haven't done a whole lot of contemplation on death, perhaps. And so we want to enter into this gently so that we can have a deep experience of it without overwhelming ourselves. So start by bringing to mind historical people or people, in the media or in the arts and society. Make some specific examples in your mind. That no matter how much resources, how powerful, how well known people were, they still died. And as you think about these people, notice your reaction. See if you're feeling a little resistance to even do this. See if you're very much in an intellectual headspace about this. And so try to bring in some feeling about these people dying. And now next, we'll move to thinking about people that we have been in relationship with, people that are personal to us. But we want to be very, again, gentle and very careful how we do this. We want to bring people to mind that we can think about and still keep a balanced mind with. If we bring in somebody to think about that we have still a lot of attachment to, then often our mind will fall into personal distress. And in that painful place, then we're more thinking about the pain that we're experiencing instead of the reality that all living beings die. So be wise in who you pick to think about. Maybe those that have been close to you but died some years back. So we try to keep a balance of remembering with a bit of non-attachment. But the reality of, yes, everyone dies. So work with your mind with that one now. Now we'll contemplate the second point. Your lifespan is decreasing continuously. This is something that, if we think about it, we know that moment by moment everything is changing and we are getting older moment by moment. So let's think about two different scenarios. From the time that we have left in this life, let's think about if we didn't put our attention on the moment by moment changes, that we distracted from the idea of death coming at some time. And then when we are dying, what would our mind be like? Play that scenario out a little bit to see what that would be like. And now let's play out the second scenario, that we train ourselves to remember death every day, not in a maudlin way, but just in a realistic way. That moment by moment, these changes are happening. And because we are aligning ourselves with the reality of what is, instead of ignoring and denying and distracting from it, then how is that going to affect your life day by day, and then affect your experience when you are dying? What state of mind will you be in at that time? Now the third point. The amount of time you have for spiritual practice is very small. So with this one, think about in a 24-hour period how much practice you actually do. And then also think about if your practice time has increased since the stay in place has happened. So how circumstances can affect our spiritual practice so much. So look at that a bit. So each of these Lamrim meditations has a conclusion at the end of the sections. And so if we have meditated deeply on these 3 points, we have a strong conclusion, a strong thought in our mind that I must practice Dharma, I must transform my mind. Now, if that feeling is not very strong, often it's because there's a lot of attachment in the mind. And so all that means is that we just keep doing this meditation over and over again to wear down our attachment, our wrong ways of looking at death. And then we will come to this conclusion very clearly in our mind, what the priority is in the time that we have left in this life. And of course, within the circumstance that we're in. But let's dedicate our merit now. Due to this merit, may we soon attain the awakened state of Guru Buddha, that we may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhi mind not yet born arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore.